Hi, thanks so much for joining us here at the AICPA's Women's Global Leadership Summit. So excited to have Jennifer Shirkani joining me this morning. You just gave an amazing speech on human intelligence, or explain what it is again?
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence,
yes.
That's right. Our series is the Human Intelligence
Yes,
series.
it's a perfect fit.
It's a perfect fit. So tell me a little bit about what you talked about this morning and why this is like gaining some traction.
It is. It's a very popular topic right now. It's also called EQ, or emotional intelligence. You might hear either term. And basically what this is, it's three things. It's your ability to recognize yourself. So it's kind of knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses and knowing what brings out the best of you and what maybe brings out the worst of you.
Right.
It's also reading others. So it's sort of almost situational awareness, right? Being able to walk into a meeting and maybe sensing the mood of the room before anyone has said anything. And then lastly, your ability to respond appropriately. So it's really paying attention to who you're with, what your environment is, and then carefully choosing a response instead of just behaving the same way all the time with everybody.
Right, and this is so important in the workplace. So how do I know, how does anybody know that they have this, or how do you get it? Can you be tested for it?
You can be tested for. A lot of people ask that, and there is an assessment that we use. It's been on the market a long time. It's a very well, validity, reliability, all there. Basically what happens is you go online, you answer 133 questions, and then you get a report, and it gives you a total EQ score. And then it measures you in 15 skills. So you get scores for all 15 as well. So it's really helpful because it gives you almost like a starting point. This is where I am right now. It measures things that you normally don't see a number by, like your flexibility, your stress tolerance, your optimism. So that's really good information to have.
Absolutely. So you can't really fail this test. It's
No.
just sort of a picture of how you are, and maybe you'll look at this and say, well, okay, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I need to get better at.
Exactly. So it kind of gives you, what do I do more of the time versus less of the time? So it gives you almost like your behavioral pattern picture, and that can change over time too. So a lot of people will test and then retest a couple of years later to sort of see where things have changed. And there's balancing competencies and skills within there too. So one of the things we look at are things like, how's my balance between my assertiveness and my empathy? I don't want either one too high or too low. They need to be in balance.
So what's a good balance?
We like to see things within 10 points, but it's all, again, situational. There'll be times when it's appropriate to be assertive, and there'll be times when it's appropriate to think of someone else and be more sensitive. So it's having the skill set that allows you to do either one comfortably that matters.
Right. So did you read the room that you spoke in this morning to kind of test the folks that you were speaking to? And how did they do, those ladies?
Yeah, they did very well, actually. We had a very lively group for how early in the morning it was.
It was packed. There were no empty chairs.
No, we had a full room. And it was great. I think everybody's interested in this topic because it has gotten a lot of research behind it now. I think in the early days when I first got involved, it was sort of seen as like people skills, soft skills, nice to haves. But now we're seeing a lot of research that supports direct success, both in the workplace as well as personally, for the development of this skill set. So there's a lot of reason to want to pay attention to this.
So if I want to go out there and make myself better in the workplace, and I guess this is personally too on the home front, start out with taking the test?
Yeah, it's a great place to start, like I said, because it kind of baselines where you're starting from and gives you a roadmap of sorts, like you said, to know what do I want to develop or increase in my skill use. And then I think even just starting with self-awareness. Anytime we do a coaching initiative or anything like that, we start with helping people understand themselves. So taking a personality assessment is very helpful. Taking a communication style report is helpful. And that way you get to know, again, what brings out the best of me, what maybe brings out the worst of me, so I can put myself in situations that I'm at my best.
And I guess you can also use this to find what jobs or organizations fit you better, really.
Yeah, or cultures, you know, what kind of work environment is good, suited for you. And so it's very helpful from a lot of standpoints. It gives you a lot of great insight into who you are and how you thrive.
And do you go out and speak to companies and folks that work at different companies and try to help organizations with their employees?
I do. I speak at corporate events, you know, if someone's having a leadership meeting or a sales summit or anything like that. And then we also work one-on-one with individuals doing the assessments and debriefs and executive coaching too. And all of that is very helpful to help people kind of raise awareness of themselves and others.
And I like that you share personal stories from your
Yeah.
own life. And you shared one this morning, if you want to share a little bit of that, because it was a really cute story and it's so timely that Thanksgiving is next week.
Oh, yeah. So it's the story that I had. I used to live in New Hampshire, and we have a lot of long, cold winters there, and we had a freak Thanksgiving snowstorm, and so our power was knocked out, and it was Thanksgiving, and so we were sort of like camping in the house in a way for Thanksgiving that year. And I got a call from someone in Southern California who, of course, has no idea what snowstorms or power outages are really like, and said how upset they were that they were out of organic turkeys at the grocery store and it was going to ruin Thanksgiving. And so I was sort of like, empathy. I have to appreciate where this person's coming from, even though it's very hard to relate right now to that.
So I'm watching this right now and I want to improve my skills. What do I do? Give me some tips going forward so that I can just get on this right away.
Yeah, I think it's important. You don't want to change everything at once either, right? You want to sort of start small. And so we usually say raise your awareness of how you're interacting with others, how your moods are affecting those behaviors. Read the room a little bit better, maybe just even be present. You know, we're all so busy these days. We're back-to-back meetings. Give yourself a little downtime in between meetings just to kind of mentally regroup and not let emotion that happened in one meeting spill right into the next. So it's be present, you know, slow down a little bit and pay attention to what's happening.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining us. And this is all part of our Human Intelligence series. So keep checking this site for more of these little chats, and we'd like to hear from you too. So if you want to make a comment below, please feel free to do so. Have a great day.